Hey, this is Sam Black with my first match with this black-red Kaladesh draft deck. On the play, this hand looks totally fine. Hope to draw lands or cheap artifacts, but I can lead with Fretwork Colony, which is a very good turn 2 play on the play. My opponent is mulligan to 5. Let's yield to this thing. Attack with this. Play an operative. I would like to draw a land or goggles. Well, that works well enough. Lets me attack with the operative. I don't think I want this. I think I want to try to find a land. Totally fine with that. It's a little scary. If I'm going to be racing a 4-power flyer, I'm not going to spend the time to play Midnight Oil here. Why would you leave this back? It can't block. I think I still want to just keep deploying threats rather than Midnight Oil. I think I'm fine trading anything with this. No reason to attack with the Thopter since it just gets eaten by the whale. Gonna make the whale bigger, but I don't really care about the whale being bigger. Now I'll play the oil to try to draw lands. My opponent still doesn't really have good blocks for ground creatures. Yep, I'm fine trading with those two Thopters. Now I'll play a lethal menace creature. Should put my opponent in a tough spot. Alright, that went well. I'm not inclined to change much given how well everything played out. I guess the Skywhale was a little scary in terms of racing in a way that makes me interested in more finishery type stuff. If my opponent's doing a Sky's thing and supporting that Skywhale anyway, maybe I want to be moving away from something like Scavenger toward Stomper, My opponent's trying to play a control deck. This is another artifact for my artifact stuff. It wins very quickly. If my opponent's removal is mostly malfunction type stuff, then putting something back on top isn't great. My opponent's not attacking on the ground, so the 4/6 blocker is not really valuable. So I think the 10/7 is going to be better there. Skygate could match up reasonably well, but it's bad against the 4/3 flyer. I guess my opponent also had the 1/1 flyers, but it's still not great against those. It blocks Lawless Broker, but that's not really what I'm trying to do. This Bruiser is kind of tempting. I almost want to just try to go for a raw beatdown plan over the Midnight Oil, but I think there's a good chance Midnight Oil is actually good in this matchup, even if the Whale made me scared of playing it in that game. It's possible that I just want to be even more aggressive and move away from Accomplished Automaton, since it doesn't stop the flyers. And yeah, I'm going to try that. I'm going to cut my 7-drop for yet another 2-drop. Just try to go fast. My opponent seemed to struggle with that. I like this hand. Guess I'd rather trade this thing for the operative, since I'm going to have Torch Gauntlet to turn on the others. Each player may scry one. I see. Well, I would like to. Definitely do not want another round. It's not a bad draw. I'm just going to attack with the Thopter and play a pair of 3/2 Death Touch creatures. Trying to figure out if I want to trade. I'd really like the Lawless guy to not have a thing to put a counter on, but I also kind of want to smash for a bunch. I'm going to try ignoring the rat. Alright. Let's put the Gauntlet on the Thopter and attack with everything. That's an interesting draw. Alright, so if I disintegrate the thriving rats, my opponent goes to 7, and then blocks the Thopter and goes to 1. If I disintegrate the crane, my opponent goes to 1, and I still have the Thopter, but it can get blocked by the fish. If I just play the Stomper and hold back, then I think my opponent's basically dead no matter what, because I can disintegrate a blocker. I guess like a malfunction could stop me from attacking. Let's see, I think... So an operative with a Torch Gauntlet, I'm trying to figure out if it's useful to attack. An operative with a gauntlet by itself is enough to crew the Stomper, so trading is fine. But it kind of turns on removal, and I don't necessarily care about getting my opponent below 10. Clearly, I think I'm very likely to win this game. I'm just trying to figure out how to maximize it. Kind of leaning toward Stomper pass. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. Malfunction is the only thing I can think of that my opponent's likely to play that'll turn this into a game from here, which I mean by my opponent to turn. If my opponent does that, then I suddenly start to want to unlicense Disintegration the Whale, which is fine. I can just do that and then trade off other creatures, and my opponent will be pretty far behind. That doesn't accomplish anything. Now you're just dead on board. Alright, that went very well.